Hello, it's me, Truly Legit / Jake Garen. I'm back. Today, what I'm gonna do, and I'm uploading my video today, is about my top 10 favorite Pokemon, excluding Legendaries. Now, before I get started, I just want to say these are all my opinion, and I'm basing them off of my experience playing with them and how much I like them. I'm not basing it anything in competitive at all. So if a Pokemon sounds like it looks good, but it sounds bad in competitive, that's probably why, because I never have done competitive battling before. So these are all just when I'm doing my journey on the Pokemon games. So to start off, my number 10, it's Lucario. Now Lucario is fighting in Steel type. He's obviously a beast. He's awfully fast and great in physical and special attack. I liked him a lot because he was the one fighting Pokemon I actually started to use. I never really liked fighting Pokemon in the game. I like using their moves on different Pokemon because fighting has so many weaknesses in the game. Flying, Psychic, those are main ones, and they have like, insanely tough moves. And there's more to it too, because their special defense is really low usually. However, Lucario was different. He had Steel type on him, which made his defenses a little better. However, it made him a little bit weaker to fighting type. However, I didn't really care. I used moves like Aura Sphere and in the new game, Kalos or whatever, that is Pokemon Y and Pokemon X. I used him to use Power Up Punch and Aura Sphere. Those are my favorite moves on Lucario. I liked him because he was a beast and he's really fast. Most of these Pokemon on my list you will find are really fast. Excluding this next one though, he is not as fast. And number 9, coming in at number 9, is my partner from the Hoenn region. His name is Swampert. I have like many names for him, but I never really got centered on one name. And I liked Swampert because when I was doing my Hoenn runs, he was very helpful for the Electric Gym, which is insanely tough at the time. I literally, before I even figured out he was ground type, like literally, this is how long ago it was. Before I figured out he was ground type, I swear I forgot that I just couldn't beat the Watson. I had so much trouble beating Watson. I had to go into the wild and train like super hard, and it would be annoying. Plus, I think Emerald, he has Manectric, and he has the move Shockwave, so he never misses, and so that was my problem. So yeah, that was a big deal. So when I finally used Swampert, I realized how good he was. I literally took him on my journeys about like I've taken him on my journeys every time in that game. Every time. Didn't even matter. And when I get the next games that are remaking Hoenn, like Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, forgot what they were called for a minute, I probably will end up using him. I don't know about his Mega Evolutions or anything. So I just wouldn't know. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Lucario's Mega Evolution made me like him better. I forgot to mention that. Okay, on to the next one. My number 8 is Gyarados. Okay, so I never knew how to evolve Gyarados when I was back like 10. Even younger than that. Gyarados, okay, I didn't realize how good he was. Okay, I was literally playing Kanto when I was about like 14. And I have my leaf green version right here, see? I have my leaf green. So when I was playing, I decided to catch a Magikarp for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and I had caught him. I didn't wanted to use him or anything. But when I went on to watch a YouTube video of somebody else, I realized, wait a minute, Magikarp evolves into a Gyarados? The fuck? And I was like, wow. So I literally made a Gyarados, Okay, my Gyarados on that game when I was playing it, I challenged the Pokemon League, and I had my really low levels. I had caught the Legendaries before I went there to help me out. I still had a tough time because they're all flying type, you know. So, upon knowing that, I had Gyarados on the Champions Battle. Okay, the champion is obviously your buddy, your rival, you know. So I figured out that I was there, and he had Dragon Rage at the time, which for goodness sake, save me. But not only that, he tanked about like 15 blows that were insanely powerful moves. I swear. He was only level 48, and the other Pokemon was about like level 61, and I was like freaking out. I thought I was gonna lose. But no, that was his last Pokemon, and Gyarados saved the day with his tanking of his moves. And yeah, he's been one of my favorite buddies ever since. He is a physical attacker, so not really much use in any other department. He learns Hydro Pump, which doesn't help him at all. The only other thing I can really say about Gyarados is that when you evolve him from Magikarp, he learns nothing for literally like I want to say 15 to 20 levels. That is actually really helpful. He'll learn Bite right away, obviously, but I've always taught him like HM moves because it's helped me out a lot. So that is why my Gyarados is my favorite. Number 7. Gengar. Okay, I have not used this Pokemon a lot because when I get a Haunter, I can never freaking evolve it because I don't ever trade people for it. And I remember when I was playing Sinnoh on Platinum, you would trade a Pokemon for a Haunter, but when you get it, she has a freaking Everstone on it. So you don't get no Gengar. And that ticked me off. I recently found out when I was watching other people using YouTube or whatever, that Gengar was insanely good in special attack, and he was really fast. I was like, oh my god, I might be able to use him. So, I tried to get him one time. I got him in Pokemon Y. That's the only game I got for the new Pokemon games. And I literally used him, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's such a beast. I literally just kept using him ever since then. But it's not easy for me to get hold of a Gengar at all. They have to make it an easier way to evolve that dude. He's so much better than he needs to be. Number 6 on my list, Dragonite. Now, there's many reasons why. Number 1, beast in attack. And not really, the ones I caught weren't really good in special attack, but he could learn Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Outrage. I mean, those 4 moves alone, oh my god, you can wreak havoc on your enemies. Outrage, Thunderbolt. He could even learn Dragon Claw. Like, literally, Dragon Claw, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, and Flamethrower. Think about that. He's a dragon and flying type. Oh my god, he can wreak havoc. And I've loved him for that reason, and he's insanely good in the speed department, I believe, anyway. I like to defeat my opponents quickly. Another reason why I don't take part in competitive battles, because they always switch out their shit and stuff. It's really annoying. So, after using him for a while, he's become one of my favorites. Now, number 5 on my list is Sylveon, a fairy-type Pokemon from Kalos. It took me a while to figure out how to get Sylveon, but when I had him, I literally did not want to let him go off my team. I literally had before I figured out how to get him, I had 2 dragon types on my team, a water Pokemon, and then not any other Pokemon I had. I never really took into liking it, but once I figured out I had insane special defense and special attack, and it could learn Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, Moonblast, I was like, you're mine. And we've been friends ever since. Number 4. Now, I have come up with a nickname for this guy, and it's Magnetric. I swear, he's one of my favorite, because he is so fast. and he is insanely good in attack, not in attack, in special attack. He's just been my favorite ever since I played Hoenn. And my nickname I had for him was Beastelect. Now, Beastelect, when I had him for the first time, I could not believe how damn fast he was. He was faster than the 3 legendaries in Emerald I had. In my Emerald game, actually. It's right here. Look. You can see it there. Yeah, there's my Emerald. But when I had Rayquaza, Groudon, and Kyogre, he was faster than all 3 of them. I was freaking out. I was like, holy crap, I didn't realize how fast this guy was until I looked at his stats. But he also makes up with that for the special attack, and that's one of my favorite things to do. Just when I get in the Hoenn, or restart a game or whatever, first thing I try to do is get to route, I think, well, the route before you go and challenge Watson, because that Pokemon is such a beast. And later on, he can learn Bite, which is another good move, and he already learns Quick Attack before you evolve him. Yeah, and I never really used the Mega Evolve version of him at all either, because I had Pokemon Y, not X, and you can only get him in X. So I really didn't have a chance to use Beastelect that much. Those are my reasons for him being my favorite. My 4th favorite, excuse me. No, excuse me, that was number 3. I realized I flip-flopped it here. Let me go right here, see. I'll just show you the next Pokemon too while you're all waiting. Sorry, I'm cover the rest of them here. You can see that. See, Gardevoir is my 4th. I forgot to say him, but Gardevoir is my 4th. I realized I've messed up, but I'll go ahead and explain Gardevoir too while I'm here. Oh, I just lost my picture. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Gardevoir. So, let's just say that was Manectric was number 3 and Gardevoir was number 4. I messed up there. Gardevoir is my 4th favorite. Sorry, I messed up there. Because I used him in Hoenn. A lot of my favorite Pokemon are from Hoenn. That's like the first game I ever played. Ruby, and then Sapphire, and then I had Emerald. I never really got past the 6th gym in Emerald because of that girl's damn Altaria. But that has Earthquake, so... And I didn't know it was a Dragon type when I was first challenging it at all either. I quit playing those games for a while. Until I got Platinum, and I just kept playing Platinum, and then I realized I can go back to Emerald. But Gardevoir's my favorite because when I was using her in Hoenn, I literally for real, being honest, I didn't really care. I didn't have a good Psychic Pokemon. I didn't realize how good Psychic Pokemon were in that game until about 5 months ago, and I picked up Gardevoir, or Ralt, excuse me, first, and then got it to Confusion, and then once I evolved it in Kirlia and then Gardevoir, I literally just fell in love because it learned Psychic and Confusion and Psychic, and it can also learn Shadow Ball. But Shadow Ball wasn't really that good. I couldn't explain. I don't know why, but I never really used it in the Kalos version yet because I quit playing Kalos for a while and started playing Hoenn because of the new Pokemon games that are coming out. And so Shadow Ball was better in Kalos, but not in Hoenn apparently. So when I used Shadow Ball, I was a little disappointed with Gardevoir, but you know, it's a Psychic Pokemon. It's not perfect yet. So it's my favorite because it helped me out with the Poison type Pokemon in that game. Now I don't know if you knew this, but Poison types and Electric types in that game are freaking devils. They will freaking paralyze you and poison you in an instant. They're like freaking magnets for that status problems. It really was annoying to witness, but that's been my favorite for Gardevoir for a reason, because it helped me deal with Poison types and the Elite Force Ghost type elite person. Who is second strong, comes in right after the Dark type Elite Four. Now on to my number 2. Now, this Pokemon I don't really use, but I've loved him ever since I played Kanto. And I only have leaf green. I used to have fire red, but I don't know where the hell it went. And that was a long time ago. I was about like 8 when I had that game. But Arcanine is my favorite because he just looks so awesome. Now I have had him in Pokemon Black 2. I played that game for a while too. I never did beat the game entirely. I got to the Black Tower and got all the way to the top. Well, sort of. I was really close, and then for some stupid reason, when I was doing this YouTube thing, I decided, hey, why don't I start over? Yeah, I never really figured out how to upload it, so I just kind of been kicking myself ever since then. Arcano's my favorite because he just looks so cool. His looks are what got me. And plus the Pokedex description for Growlithe was that it's insanely loyal to its trainer. Now, if you think about that, friendship in that game, and these Pokemon games, goes a long way. It's never really evident because you're so focused on the statistics of your Pokemon. But I thought that was a cool concept because it resembled a dog, and I was like, I'm a big dog fan. I don't know if you guys have ever known that, but I love dogs, and yeah, so that Pokemon caught my eye when it said it was really loyal, and then when I evolved it in Arcanine, I was like, oh my god, this thing's a beast. Now, on to my number 1, and this is... It's been a while, hasn't it? I've been rambling on for 16 minutes. Well, almost 17 minutes now. And if you're watching this until now, great. That is awesome. My number 1. Drum roll, please. Charizard. And I'm gonna explain why. In my leaf green, before I even challenged the first gym, I used Charmander all the time. I would train that thing up and evolve it and then get it to level 18. And then I would challenge the gym. Because then it would be a Charmeleon and then it would learn Metal Claw. And I'd go ham after that. I remember one time I literally used nothing but Charizard the whole entire time I played that and beat the Elite Four. He was about like level 75 by the time I beat the Elite Four and the champion. I was like, that is so sick. I can go with Charizard through this whole thing. And the moves I had on him are as follows: Flamethrower, Dragon Claw, which is insanely helpful when you're going 1v6 or 5. And then, so Flamethrower, Dragon Claw, and I had Aerial Ace, because he's part Flying type, and he would never miss that move. And then the fourth move would vary. Mostly I would have Brick Break, but depending on what other move it was, I would probably use something different. But most of the time it was Brick Break, and that would deal with the different rock Pokemon or whatever got in the way. And it also got rid of a bunch of psychic barriers that people put up. But when I went through a whole entire game with just him alone and out-leveling the route trainers by 30 levels, you know I was going insane with that. And by the time I got to the champion, I was only like 10 levels off that time, or 15. Because I think the champion's last Pokemon in Kanto is a level 61. I'm not even sure anymore. I haven't played in a while. But yeah, you can imagine how beast he had to be. And he's very fast. He is overall well balanced. But I think his physical special defense are the thing that got him. I'm not even sure. I think it was physical defense actually. But I think his special defense was decent enough. But yeah, I loved him. He was my second Pokemon I got to level 100 without using rare candies. So yeah, that's been my top 10 list with of favorite Pokemon excluding Legendaries. And if you guys want to, you can go look up my list and how awesome they look, or unless you know it by your head. But that's gonna wrap up this video, guys, and I will talk to you some other time with a new video. Peace.